It was really interesting. Back in the very beginning, I had two partners, and I was part of Urban Greenhouse. Now, I'm no longer part of that. And but I remember driving to the store, and man, everyone's just on our asses for something, getting phone calls, and just we're just not too sure what was happening. And Brett,
Yes.
my partner,
Yes.
Brett is really cool. And we're driving to the store together, and he goes, "I'm not hiding." And that set the tone for us. And we said, like, fuck you, man. We're not hiding. We're going to open up. We're going to do our thing. And we acted like business as usual. And we did it with the mantra that, we're not hiding.
No.
We're out in front. Now, keep in mind when we first started, we have to be very careful about, there's very specific rules, and especially as a dispensary, again, it is a class 1 narcotic. And so we had to be really careful not to hand out product to anybody. And, that's, everyone wants something, right? So you have to be really careful about, sharing. And what you do, you don't share, again, the rule is a patient can exchange cannabis.
Right.
But you can't sell it.
Right.
You can only buy it from the dispensary, which kind of brings up, kind of maybe a topic I wasn't really planning on is, there's an election come up in November 2000, and it's going to be for the adult use program. And there's a couple out there that they're offering. One has traction. That's sponsored by the AD, I believe, the Arizona Dispensary Association, and they're pretty strong and very smart people, and they're pushing pretty hard. And I understand they're pretty close to having all the signatures for the ballot to submit it. And then there's another one out there that's going to maybe go through initiative if they can find a sponsor for it.
Right.
So what's your take on this whole thing in 2020?
Oh, gosh, I was hoping not to get into this. I support the Smart and Safe campaign. Ryan Hurley's put a lot of hard work into it. The ADA's put a lot of hard work into it. The problem I see is every time it goes about, if there's more than one legalization platform, it splits the vote and it fails.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's kind of confusing for the people in a lot of ways.
Right.
And, they're already confused as it is,
Right.
with a lot of rules and stuff. So we don't need to confuse them any more than they need to be. Again, this is a very well-crafted document with everyone in concern. You can't please everybody.
Yes.
Right? You can't please everybody. But, this is a good start. And then it takes Arizona to the path of adult use. So that's why I think it's kind of good.
Well, I did get a phone call because I'm a big proponent of being able to have 12 plants. So I got a phone call, and they said they're trying to cut the plant count to 6. And I was like, oh, hell no. Because when legalization comes in, I plan to juice half my plants. So I want to juice 6 of my plants every day, leaves, buds, whatever.
Yeah.
So I went down there with all kinds of charts and documentation and raised a little stink, and the 12 plants stayed. I don't know whether it was because of what I did, but it doesn't matter. It's still there. Well,
look, the reality is that everyone can grow 12 plants, right? But it's just like beer. People don't make their own beer. Yes, you can go to the store and figure out how to make your own beer, but there's only like 1 or 2 people in the valley that do that. Cannabis will be the same way.
Exactly.
Well, I grow plants here in the terrarium. You saw my terrarium.
Yes.
It's going to be a nice little grow eventually if I can do that. I'd love to do that. Right. And by the way, I have juiced leaves in the past quite a bit. And you don't get high from it, of course. You just, it's just you get the benefit of the cannabinoids in there. So that was really cool. And the challenge with, taking product from someone and juicing it, one, you really can't do it in mass because you need a fair amount. And 2, you need to make sure the plant is the health that you want.
Right.
You have to make sure it's grown to your organic style, because if you start juicing a plant and you put some bad stuff on it to kill something, that's no different than you just taking that same ingredient.
And I say maybe 1 out of 100 patients will actually grow. I mean, I bought a oat milk bag off Amazon. I have yet to make oat milk. It's not, in your vision, you think you're going to do something, and then in reality, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, and you really have to want to do it. So, but to have the option, and to be able to empower our patients to heal themselves, I think is important.
I think it's a smart idea to let patients grow their own plants. I really do. I think,
and if nothing else, it'll give them an appreciation for being able to walk into a dispensary and just pick up whatever they need, because there's a beauty in that too.
Yeah, absolutely. You got variety and selection, of course, and when I was told a long time ago, yeah, you just put the seed in the ground and it grows. And I can tell you, absolutely not. It does not happen that way. Right?
Yeah. Especially in Arizona. And Arizona is so unique because there's no books on how to dry and cure in Arizona. And that's where people fall down.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, the curing process or the drying process is one of the more critical stages of the whole plant. And if you shortcut it for some reason, I was told a long time ago by caregivers is that they would always, I don't know if your group didn't do this because the way your group was structured in the caregiver group, because there was a bunch of tents in there and stuff, right? That was that facility.
That was up on it was north of the Giving Tree, that facility.
Oh, that's where you were?
No, the people with all the tents that had all the different growers in there.
Yeah, they were downtown, right, off McDowell or something like that, right?
Well, maybe there was a couple, but
yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember that guy's name. He was pretty funny.
Yeah,
but yeah. So here we are. We're gonna hopefully get a legalization bill of some type by 2020, and again, as a dispensary, you don't lose, of course. You just don't gain. You don't gain any more than you have right now.
Well, when the first meeting I had with Fife, he told me, we know that legalization is looming and we feel that the medical patient is going to get ignored and we would like you to lead the program. Well, that was like, yeehaw, that's perfect for me, because the writing's on the wall with a lot of, if we follow other states, a lot of dispensaries are going to start just catering to adult use.
Right. I've always had high respect for Fife, Fife Symington, and for people who don't know this, Fife is Fife Symington the fourth, and his father was governor of Arizona. Right. And unfortunately, he was booted. But he was a good governor, and that's what happens in political parties, is that the piranhas come out, and unfortunately, Fife was part of the piranha process there, got eaten up by the other party. But Fife is a great guy, man. He was, to my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, to my understanding story, he was a tomato grower mostly in Mexico, right? And was very successful in the tomato business, right? And then he had opportunity to come up here and do the Copperstate. Yes,
and he's the kindest, gentlest people you'll ever meet.
So. Yeah, he's just a great guy, just overall. And now you worked for him for a bit now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How many years have you worked for him?
They hired me in May of 2017. And my office was right next to his for a year and a half, so we know each other really well.
Yeah, that's great. Everyone kind of worried about Copperstate because their facility is so big. But, I give him a lot of credit for not flooding the market, not killing the market. He's been really conscious about, being a good player. And so I like that about him. And he hasn't changed his word. He could easily come in here and flood the market and own the whole Arizona in a heartbeat.
Yeah, so and I don't think this is a secret. We have 44 acres of Dutch-style greenhouse. It's divided into two parts. So in the middle is a 60,000 square foot extraction facility. So there's 22 acres to the north, which are in flower, and 22 acres that are kind of idle or just have some CBD plants on the other side. So that's not going to be planted, full out until we need it.
Right. So you have close to 300 people now in this operation up near Snowflake. Right. And it's a big operation, and I'm sure it's a full service where you're doing the growing, the curing, the packaging. You're doing extracts, the packaging of extracts, and you're probably doing the full spectrum of a vertical operation there, correct?
We have a little kitchen, and then the size of your table right here is my little lab where I go up and play and make topicals or tincture flavors or whatever. So I wanted to spread my wings when I was at Monarch, and I didn't get that opportunity. And so before I signed on the dotted line with Copperstate, I was like, can I have my own CBD flower? Can I have this? Can I have that? And that was yes, yes, yes. So I have a little corner of the lab. I don't get up there as much as I'd like to, but we do have 21 strains of high CBD up there. And when you buy a Copperstate tincture, and this is just self-promoting right now, it is a CBD cannabis that's in there and not a hemp.
Yeah, that's a big difference because early on people didn't understand the difference of the different CBDs, and so there's cannabis CBD, and there's hemp CBD.
Correct.
And and I believe the cannabis CBD has a lot more cannabinoids in it, and it's a lot more effective.
Well, CBD, the molecule CBD is CBD, but the difference I notice, and this is just, it's not medicinal, it's flavor-wise. So yes. A hemp CBD is very heavy and oily, where a cannabis CBD, I kind of compare it to like a wine cooler. It's light and it doesn't have that heavy consistency.
Did it, special alert. Did it, special alert. Not really, guys. Hey, I just want to give a special shout out to JaneFix for being on the Cooper Still Standing podcast today. She was super great to be here. She was, super smart and great to talk to. Make sure you check out the rest of the series with JaneFix and myself. Having viewers like you is really important, and so make sure, you leave a comment. Tell us what you feel. Tell us, what you really feel. I'll answer it. I really will. I think it's important for me to share my feelings with people. Go ahead. Just leave a comment below. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure you subscribe and, hit the bell, man. Hit subscribe and hit the bell, man. And join us for Cooper Still Standing. This is Cooper Still Standing. I'm Jeff Cooper, and I'm still standing.